Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is Edgewater, Episode 1. That's right, it is a new series starting on this Edgewater map in Saskatchewan, Canada, I believe. And the thing that I think is really interesting about this map is this one's a little better. Look at all of these rivers. So there are no normal shaped fields to be found, and you know how I like um, interesting shaped fields. Right now we're standing on a lot for field one. I believe this is where you would start if you were in easy mode, but as you can see from our money, we are not. We are in Farm Manager, which is my favorite game setting. So we're actually going to start by buying ourselves a tractor. I was looking at this earlier, and I think we're going to go with a New Holland because I don't believe I've done a New Holland, at least not for a while. And I want something that's got at least 310 horsepower for the cultivator that I plan to use a little bit later in the series. So we're going to go here and just clip this back to 313. And we're going to change up the tires. I think I want to go with this Nokian tires as well, just because that is a cool looking tread. And, you know, who doesn't like a blue looking tractor like that? So we're going to go and buy this for $250,000. And that leaves us 12,252,500. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fast travel to this, fire up our New Holland T7, and we're going to take a look at where I am thinking about starting. Now, there are some new crops on this map as well. Um, Let me actually show you that before I pull out onto the road here. There are 3 or 4 new crops specific to this map. There are flax, peas, and lentils. And so there are fields planted with flax, peas, and lentils all over the place. Um, but we are not probably, the farm I'm looking at doesn't have any of those planted. I did look at a different field down the road that way that had some peas on it. And I thought about starting there, but I don't really like the farmyard because it has a cow shed. And I think we've done enough cows on this channel. I want to do more crops on this playthrough anyway. Oh, and since we're here, let's just get our tipper so we don't have to drive back for it in a second. When we're looking at tippers, I like this Brantner. Um, can be adjusted with the extension to go up to 33, but we will just probably start with the 22 for now, and we can adjust it up if we need to. But I think 22 will be enough, depending on which harvester we get. We're going to go ahead and I've never actually changed the main color on this. What do we have? A black one, an orange one. Ooh, that might look really good. Blue and orange. Yeah, I think so. So we're going to go buy this at the 22 cubic meters of storage. And before we drive out to where the farm is, we're just going to back this all the way up and pick up this orange trailer. Because, man, it would be annoying to drive all the way out there, because this is a pretty big map, at least for the console, and then have to drive all the way back. So we've got our trailer hooked up. We're going to zoom out just a little bit, and we're going to drive over there. Now, the nice thing is all the crops pretty much on this entire map are ready to be harvested. So kind of wherever we go, we're also going to need to get a harvester and drive that over there, and then we can start with the harvest and have a little bit of money. Now, the yard that I like has 3 ridiculous fields on it, and I say ridiculous because, let me get my map up to see where we're going. Yes, that was my turn. Sorry, new in town, not sure where I'm going. Nope, don't pull out yet. We're going to take this little cutoff. Alright, so we are off the main road, and we're going to follow this around. Looks like no outlet there, so we're going to go down and around. The yard that I like here comes with some really nice silos. So for the cost of the yard, we get 2 or 3 buildings, a farmhouse, although it doesn't have a sleep trigger, but a barn and a shed that you can't go in, and then a couple of big sheds that you can use. But the nice thing is it's got a really big silo, and I don't want to mess with buying a new silo or trying to find whatever, so I think I like this yard the best because of the silo. Looks like there's also a train that had a trigger, so we can probably sell in the train. I really haven't looked around that much, just enough to know that of the yards you could start with, I like some of the ones over here. And you know how I am a sucker for oddly shaped fields that are going to be kind of a pain to harvest and to prep. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that, because I think this is the most oddly shaped fields we can find to really make use of that. I did like that field 1. It was broken into 3 or 4 parts, but one giant field. But then we're only going to plant one crop type, and I'd rather do a rotation. So we're going to turn down here and take a look at some of these fields and see if there's something we'd be interested in starting with. So I haven't bought it yet, obviously, because I started with the 1.5 million, and all we've bought were the New Holland and the tipper here. But I think we're going to start over here, and then we got to get a harvester over here so we can get busy on these fields, because August is going to run by real quick. And I'm not sure how many of the fields we're going to buy right off. I know 2 of them probably, but I don't know if we're going to do all of them. So this is the little farmhouse. Again, no sleep trigger there, but there is a easy solution for that. And then it's got this nice loop here where you can loop around. You've got a big shed there for like a harvester. You've got that long machine shed thing over there, which we could pull through with some stuff. These are the silos with the extensions. And then there's that barn and shed that I don't believe you can enter. And then this also has a pretty big yard where you can just park some stuff up. So let me pop out of this real quick. And you can't open anything, I don't believe, until you've actually purchased it. Nope, locked until you purchase it. So here's what I'm looking at. There are 2 fields here full of oats, and 33 and 41. There's also field 4, which has got wheat on it, as does field 32, but I don't know that I'm ready for that big field right there. So I kind of want to start with 33 and 41. Probably field 4 as well, because the same harvester could do that, but I just want to see how far we're getting. And then there's this field 40 over here as well, that doesn't have anything on it. I believe it's cultivated. And these are extremely cheap lots, actually, for the size, I think. 54,000 for that one, 97 for that one, 100,000 for this one, 113. Our yard itself, I mean, I guess that is almost $600,000, but it does come with buildings and silos, so that's nice. Technically, if we just bought this field here, we'd have this little treat area down here where we could maybe park up some equipment, but nothing. I mean, I guess let's take a look at that real quick. That would be this treat area over here. We'd obviously use that guy's easement to get in here. Yeah, but see, there's these ditches everywhere because of the water runoff, and that's what makes this map so interesting. Now, the other thing to notice is this field has large weeds on it. I believe 32 also has large weeds, and I think the wheat field has a little bit less weeds, but maybe isn't fertilized. None of these are in great condition, I guess is what I'm saying. But they do have crop on them, and this can get us started for doing that. Otherwise, there is this really big wheat field. We could just start with 32 over here. But 32, I probably should have rode over here rather than running. But it's the same thing. This one has 0 fertilization, 38% yield bonus, but no weeds. So, you know, I think it's a 25% penalty for medium weeds and maybe 35 or 40% for large weeds. I'd have to look it up to go back on that. But these silos are really nice, and not having to add them ourselves is also really nice because it's got the pull through and everything's ready to go. So we could get busy on these fields right away. Now, the last thing I want to look at is plowing, because I do not want to have to plow all these weird shaped fields. So we're going to flip over to our needs plowing. And as you can see, oh no, 41 just got harvested as we were talking. I took too long. So now there's nothing on 41. It was just harvested. Yikes. 40 is cultivated. And if we get over here, weeds obviously everywhere, but ooh, looks like 32 has actually been sprayed, which is nice. That might change what we're doing. But 33 and 32 need plowed, and that is not something that I'm looking forward to. So I was kind of thinking staying over here where they didn't need plowed, but then we've got this field between our yard and where we're going. So I suppose I could look at this yard over here that would have access to both 41 and field 4. And how much does that yard cost? Nope. So this one's only 295. I don't know what kind of sheds it has on it. Can't believe that 28 got harvested while we were talking. I just really don't want to plow 9 and 29. And the numbers change when we go out of this menu. Look, because it's 41 and 4, then it's 39 and 28. So anyway, 42 does need plowing, but that's a much smaller field and only has the one river breaking it up, so that wouldn't be as much of a pain to plow. These, especially this part right here, would be a right big problem to plow. So we will see, and I'm obviously probably going to turn plowing off as well, because there'll be enough field work on these between what we're doing. The other option is 19 is over here. Ooh, I could do 19 for 41. 19 is a nice big field. Sorry, field 23 when we're buying it, but it's got a new crop on it, flax. So yeah, this is where I was gonna set up, but we already lost one of our fields, and the other two that are directly adjacent need plowing. So let's go over and just peek at that other yard, and maybe I won't even do what I thought I was going to do, because I do want to try the new crops on this. I just wanted to start with the silo, but if the silo is really going to cost us the difference between 200 and 500,000, we could just literally pay to put that silo on. So this is that cultivated field number 40 to our right. It's long, but it's pretty narrow. But it's a nice looking field, and it doesn't need plowed, so that could be one that we would access. Over here, there's also some silos down there, so I wonder if we bought that yard and those silos and 43. Again, that's a bigger field, but doesn't have as many squigglies. I wanted to do some really weird looking fields, which I still can do. That is a bright red truck. But let's go over here and take a look at this yard, because we will be right across the street from 41, which just got taken, but field 4 as well. Oh, look at this little yard coming back here. It's a little bit more modest, but it's still got some buildings. Oh, these are the wrong kind of silos. I don't understand these silos, because you can't drop them off. I tested another lot that had silos like that, and you couldn't load and unload from them the same way that I thought you might be able to. So I'd have to figure that out, which is fine. But field 19 here is the flax field, I believe. Yeah, flax. So, and it's an interesting shape for sure. What is this 43? That is probably more oats. It is. It's more square, but we could theoretically start down here where that silo was, and then just do 43 and 19 and have that be it. Let me Well, we're calling an audible already, which is fine. I don't mind, but it does make this first episode a lot of driving around and trying to figure out what we're doing. So let's just bop down the road here real quick and look at those silos, because those look like the kind of silos I know we can use. And again, we'd still be right up the road from like 40 or 41 if we wanted to take them, all of which I believe do not need plowed. We'd have to verify that 43 does not need plowed either. And then we could use this, or we could take 39 and just start by sowing. But yeah, look at these silos. Does this have a area where you can drop off? It does. So you drop off in the middle there, and this is literally just silos. No buildings, no storage, just silos. But for a start, it could be all right. And I think I have the tiny house thing installed. We could drop that tiny house on here too. So, all right, last check. 19 and 43 are ready to harvest, and neither of them need plowed. And if we buy 43, we have to buy 11 here to get the silos. 436,000 just for the silos. Interesting. Well, let's buy the flax. Yes. And the question is, if this is going to be 400,000 for the silos, should we just buy this lot up here that has some stuff, and then worry about where we're going to store it a little bit later? Because this is only 295, where this is, I mean, we're just literally paying $400,000 for silos, which we might or might not have. So I guess let's buy 43. Or we could buy 39, which I think also didn't need plowed, and then we could just do the right across the street here. Yeah, I don't really want that. Let's, all right, we're going to buy this one. We're just going to make it work. And then how much was, let me just make sure. Yeah, so there's silos here. I don't know how to use them because there's not a dumping thing. So we're going to do 19 and field 4, I think, to start. And then we'll maybe branch into 41 depending on how that goes. So field 4 as well does not need plowing. So we're going to go ahead buy that. So that is all of our land for now. And we will get started there. So let's drive back up to our lot and drop the tipper off. And then we're going to go buy a harvester, drive that over here, and then we'll be busy going. So, whoops. Watch out for the little blue car. Well, I'm excited. This is a new map. It's pretty flat, which is okay, because all the fields are really interestingly shaped, and I think that's going to be fun to work with and kind of keep us on our toes when we're harvesting and planting. So we're going to try all of those things out here in a bit, and I don't know, we'll have to see what we want to plant on these. I think we've got a wheat field and a flax field, and I believe the flax drops straw as well, but I'm not sure. So yeah, all of these have like a liquid thing. I don't understand. I think maybe you need to put in a pad to use those, but anyway, this should open now that we have purchased it. Yep. So we will go ahead and drive in here. So we've got some storage, which is nice. Little pull through. And we also have this shed, I believe, is ours too. And it's got this door. Oh, and this is only a one-sided. And that covers up the other door when you open it up. So we could park the harvester in here. And then there's a little house over there that we own. I'm guessing it does not have a trigger, but there's a easy solution for that in this. So let's go ahead and we'll turn this off, hop out of that. Looks like we didn't open this door all the way either. And then we're going to need to get a harvester over here to start working on field 19. Luckily, we don't have to take that track down and avoid the train tracks anymore because we can just come up to this dirt road, get off 19, and then drive over to 4 here in a minute. Also, before I forget, let me just turn off periodic plowing. Field stones off, periodic plowing off. All right, so let's find a harvester and see what we want to start with here. We have a 22,000 tipper. So we want something that does 10 to 12 so we can do 2 loads between. This Kloss is about there. This case is about there. Is there a New Holland? There is a New Holland here, 9.3, so this would take over 2 loads to fill the tipper. How big is the header for this one? 28 foot. Oh, I was hoping for a little bit bigger than that. This case here does 25, 28 here, but then if we go to this case, this is the one that has the 45 foot. Like a 30 or 35. I mean, this Kloss is about right there. And this would be 10.8 meters. I don't, it doesn't say feet. Did the other one say meters? So 10.8 meters here. If we go back to this one, we're only getting 7, 8 meters. So yeah, probably somewhere in the 30s. Just wish that New Holland was a little bigger. Is there a really big New Holland? There is not. But there is a pretty big price difference between where we're going from here. I don't know. I do like this case. No, it's this case that I like. Yeah, the difference really isn't that much. I mean, it's 100,000, I suppose. But then you go up to 45 meters. You know what? Let's start with the New Holland. We're a new farm. We got to figure some things out. I think the New Holland might be the right mix for that. It's a little small, but it can handle it. And yes, it can do flax, and it can do peas, and it can also do lentils, as well as wheat. So this would cover everything that we need. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do the New Holland. We're going to buy that. We're going to get the 28 footer here, buy that. And then we're going to go down to our garage. I should have checked deals. Look at that. There's a Fendt harvester in here. Man. What is this? This is seed crops like wheat, barley, or canola, and apparently flax and beans and lentils. And it requires 210 horsepower, and it does 6 meters at a time. That's probably a pretty good deal. Anyway, nope, I'm looking at, for the header, I want the header trailer. Okay, so let's flip over to this and take a look at our header trailer real quick. Which way is it lined up? So we're going to have to pick it up and drive it around. Okay. Alright. But New Holland Farm. in Canada. Oops, backed up a little bit too far there. Pick that up. And hopefully this snaps. I think it does. I think they all snap at this point, but I'll want to make sure this snaps as well. Yep. And that's exactly why I dropped it off the far end and it snapped it back up, which is very convenient for us. Zoom out just a little bit for this since we're going to have the trailer. Alright, and we're going to get busy harvesting some flax. Let's see, and we're going to take a little, excuse me, sir. You would just wait for me to get out on the road. We could avoid these little run-ins. Alright, so we're going to get up here, pull up to our corner, and take a right, and then we should run up to field 19, and we can just start on that north end, and we can just see where it goes from there. And I actually don't know that we're going to get much harvesting done in this first episode. I guess it was mainly buying our equipment and picking out our fields and setting up our lots, and I'm going to have to play with that. Oops, there goes the first stop sign of the series. Certainly not the last. This field 13 is the beans that I was looking at as well too, but also look at all those weeds. And it's a little bit farther away from the yard I originally chose. We could probably actually buy it, given that we're off of this road now. Although we are, yeah, not that far. We could take field 13 just to get the beans and try a new crop. We'll have to consider that too. So I'm not going to do that yet. You can tell me in the comments below if you think we should get that bean field number 13 just to try out the new crops, because I guess that's kind of what we're doing here. So here's our field 19 on the right. As you can see, it's got this kind of little inlet. And let's see, we're going to put our trailer right here. Let me zoom way out and see if that's reasonable to the entrance there. I'm just going to back it up a little bit and detach it. And in the next episode, we will be harvesting. Also, I don't know if I finished my thought earlier, so I'm just going to say it again. I'm going to play around with those silos and see what I need to do to get those silos working for us. Since they are on our land, we might as well use them if we can figure it out, or we might as well sell them, because I believe they're sellable, and put in an actual silo that we can use, because we're going to need somewhere to dump this flax as soon as we get off the field. Well, I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Next episode will be harvesting with the New Holland and figuring out the silos and maybe buying a bean field. All right, catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.